A frequency beyond space and time.
Unspeakable knowledge. It is Mad Tower Radio.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Mad Tower Radio. As always, your hosts, Daniel and Christian, are here to bring you the truth. But first, we wanted to go over why our upload schedule has been so crazy recently. And pretty much in my neck of the woods, they were like, back to work, everybody. So I'm back at work, and what's been going on with you, Christian?
Well, in my neck of the woods, my government has failed me, and I've had to get a full-time night job or die. So
Nice.
I'm now,
And
I'm broadcasting truth waves directly to your ears from the studio, and by that I mean this new walk-in closet.
yeah, you just moved to a new apartment complex, right?
Yeah, that's what I've been doing all weekend instead of, talking about bat demons or whatever we do here.
And you had to go back to Illinois, right?
I did. I had to cross the worst, 700 miles of this country.
Yeah?
Yeah.
How was it? Any nightmare zones?
There's something strange about Ohio going on.
Oh, yeah? What's strange about Ohio?
That place is cursed. Both coming in and going, back and forth, there was the densest, most horrifying fog I've ever driven through in my life.
Really?
The world doesn't exist except for 10 feet in front of me, and these two lines, just horrid fog.
Yeah, I do not enjoy driving through horrid fog when you'll just be driving through the middle of nowhere, and then all of a sudden you're in Silent Hill.
Yeah, no, it swoops down and attacks you. It doesn't leave you any sort of guess as to when the fog hits. You just turn a corner and then you no longer can see.
Yeah. You gotta love it. It's been pretty foggy here in Louisiana. It's actually been really stormy here.
That's like swamp fog.
Yeah, it's a whole new kind of cursed. But we also plan to go back to doing our regular one cryptid and one conspiracy, but right now with our time constraints and uploading whenever we have time, we're just kind of bringing whatever we can to the table.
Yeah.
So, without further ado, I'll go ahead and get into mine. I brought a cryptid today.
Hell yeah.
Christian, have you ever heard of the Migos?
The Miga?
Migos? Miga? The S might be silent. I don't know.
Is that the fly monster? This sort of anthropomorphic bug dude?
Oh, no.
Oh, no.
Far from it. Have you ever heard of the Lusca or Lussa? I don't know. It's Lusca.
Lusca. No, that's the most Italian-feeling word I've ever heard.
Well, I would just like to preface this before I get into it by saying that great volumes of water serve as a bulwark guarding sleep and an augur of the eldritch truth.
Oh, God.
The Lusca is said to be over 75 feet long, or even 200 feet long, but no cases have been proven of other octopus species growing up to even half these lengths.
No.
To attack properly on the surface, the octopus would have to have one tentacle on the seafloor to balance itself. This would mean that such accounts, if real, would have to take place in relatively shallow water. Other descriptions also mention that it can change color, a characteristic most commonly found among octopi. The supposed habitat is rugged underwater terrain, large undersea caves, the edge of the continental shelf, or other areas where large crustaceans are found, which is supposedly on what they feed. It is sometimes described as a half shark, half octopus, and occasionally it is described as a half octopus and half beautiful woman, with hair so long it tangles around its victims before its tentacles drag it down. Although the general identification of the Lusca is with the colossal octopus, it has also been described as a multi-headed monster, a dragon-like creature, or some kind of evil spirit. And this thing comes from the Caribbeans.
Oh, that's lovely. You know, I was doing a sort of a peek at what I was going to do next week, and it's also a Caribbean monster. So this is
really?
a fusion squid beast or octopus beast.
Nice. But yeah, you see that shitty sci-fi movie, The Sharktopus?
No, I really didn't, but I should have. All 4 of them.
Well, I guess this is kind of what it's based on. But I just like that there's like a lot of different accounts of this thing.
Oh, it's had a lot of brush-ups?
Yeah, I'll send you some pictures of it right now. But like this thing is pretty cool. I like that there's a bunch of different depictions of it. Yeah, you like that?
That's like a 5th edition monster.
I know. It's all pretty crazy to me.
And you said it lives on the edge of the continental shelf. There's nothing more cursed than the continental shelf. The ocean's horrifying.
I know. Sea beasts, specifically the octopus, they look so alien. Alien. I don't know what I was going for there. Oh gosh, this one's worse.
And that's like Leviathan art, like all of those crazy cool sea beast photos.
I know, like they're just sea monsters are a different breed. Like some of them are lame, like Nessie, the Loch Ness monster. I'm sorry. It's fucking lame. But sea monsters, for the most part, are fucking scary. Now, there was an episode on River Monsters about this thing, the Lusca.
River fucking Monsters.
Oh, River Monsters is a great show.
That show made me who I am. Is that the thing that he pulled out of the water?
I don't know what that is, man.
This, like, cursed lamprey beast? Ugh.
Yeah, I don't know what that is. But, like, the ocean, I hate it. I never want to go, like, in water that I cannot see.
Yeah, if I can break the wall down a bit, your brother this week went crazy. He was like, I'm never going into water that I can't see the bottom of. And like revealed his superphobia. Is that just a thing that runs in your family? Like you're a land beast family?
I guess, but that's fine with me. I have no problem being landlocked. But yeah, my brother came at us this week with something called submechanophobia. I'll look it up. It is like, oh, of course, the top result is Reddit. But I guess it's like the fear of like half submerged mechanics. Or like mechanical things, I guess.
The Russian lake tank of wisdom?
Yeah, I guess. The Panzer of the lake.
Yeah.
No, but like just... I mean, I don't know. I wouldn't say I have like an outright fear of it. It's creepy looking for sure, but like when I look at these kind of things, it doesn't like... I'm not like, oh my god, get it away from me. You know?
It's got that horny isolated pirates thing again, except it's dudes who wanted to get like choked by hair.
Wait, what do you mean?
When you told me, you said that Sometimes it's this beautiful lady squid beast.
Oh.
And then it, you know.
Horny pirate? Is that what you
Yeah.
said? Jesus.
How they see sirens and mermaids and this cursed thing.
Everyone's like, oh my god, man. Like, I just saw this, like, horrendous octopus shark beast. And then one guy came back and they were like, did you see the horrendous octopus shark beast? And they're like, no, I saw the fucking beautiful octopus lady monster.
Yeah, the dude who's been on the boat too long.
Yeah, right. That guy was probably into a lot. But I'm looking at this submechanophobia scrolling down. This guy goes, local trail I hike, walking right over beside old sunken boards. And this guy took a picture of a 2x4 in the water, and he's like, oh, I'm so scared. Jesus.
If anything's in the water, it's haunting.
I guess, not a 2x4. I'm not going to be haunted by someone's old fucking Miller Lite can that they threw in the creek and I can see it at the bottom. Yeah, I mean, like, some of it's cool, but then some of it's like, oh my god, there's a boat underwater. Isn't that scary?
I mean, it's...
No, not really.
It's a good vibe. I think it's cool looking and pretty, but I don't think it's
Oh yeah, it
haunting.
looks cool, but it's not scary.
This...
Or some people are posting pictures of, like, the nuclear reactor fuel tanks. Those are scary.
Those are
just because I don't understand them.
fucking amazing. Like, you know how some people go above and beyond and they cool their computers with water? That's
Yeah.
it. That's
You have, like, a little mini, like, nuclear fuel tank?
that's what they do. They put the nuclear reactor in water to keep it cool.
Man, I guess these people, they would really hate it if they saw that, what was the power plant that went down in Japan recently?
Fukushima.
Fukushima. There's a shitload of videos of, like, the dudes just driving the little lollybots down into the tanks.
Oh, no.
Trying to find the corium. Which I think we talked about this before when we were talking about the Black Beast of Chernobyl.
Oh,
But this has a whole new angle of the submechanophobia to it.
yeah, the combination of nuclear disaster and literally anything in the
Underwater
water.
nuclear disaster. Hell yeah.
Now, this first image you sent me, dude's a shark Cerberus. Is that usually how it's presented in these images?
No, it's usually just presented with one head, but I saw the one with the 3 heads and I'm like, that looks fucking cool.
And does this play at all into the fact that octopuses and squids are too smart and they're a danger to our life?
Oh, they are. They're really fucking smart. I honestly believe that if they had longer lifespans, that they would have, like, advanced drastically by now.
Anything that's smart enough to, like, open a peanut butter jar is, like, too smart to exist on this earth with me.
Anything that's big enough to kill me, yet still small enough to fit through, like, a fucking 2-inch hole, it's become too powerful.
Oh yeah, like they can fit through any crevice that their beak can fit through. Fuck that.
Yeah, octopi are insane. They're truly, like, alien animals.
You're on the front line though. You're in the good old bayou. That's where they're gonna go first.
I'll come right out of the Gulf into the bayou.
Mm-hmm. Like that's like a
You know,
on-ramp for them.
That's a perfect segue into the Migos, right?
Mm-hmm.
The bizarre freshwater octopus called Migos is a dangerous creature which can hide in very low water as it can flatten its own body in bizarre ways. This stalking machine often uses one of its many tentacles, said to have more than 50, to drag prey into its calm waters, turning it into a splash of tentacles, blood, and gore. While they are related to octopi, there are many differences. They have more tentacles, they are more intelligent, and they are more aberrant. They can force their bodies through very small holes, so nowhere is safe from them. Like the tree octopus. I didn't look up anything about the tree octopus. These creatures can survive out of water, but they have their weaknesses, so most Migas stay in the water. Some powerful evil creatures capture Migas and put them in private lakes or ponds so they can protect their treasure from them. Migas flesh is very tasteful, but hunting these creatures is almost impossible for peasants and common folk. So finding their flesh on the market is extremely rare and expensive. Migas jumped out at me because it's jarring appearance. Look at one of the pictures I found of the Migas. Let me find it real quick so I can send it to you. But it looks fucking crazy. Hold on.
It has many weaknesses. Okay, dude. It's an octopus, like.
Oh, I think it's more. So other people have said that the Migas has a form. Yeah, look at that thing.
Whoa.
That just looks like a fucking like Eldrazi from Magic,
That's
right?
100% an Eldrazi.
Right?
I didn't think he was so big, so tall.
I know, this thing is crazy to me. Or here's this one. This one's my favorite.
And I'll
send it to you
some
right
bastard, like warlocks in the bayou take these things and guard their swamp treasure.
This one comes to us from Africa.
Oh, okay. Oh, that one's good. That's like the Ronald McDonald Kraken.
The Ronald McDonald Kraken? What?
Yeah, there's in like 1999. There's a Ronald McDonald movie where he's like a pirate and he fights a kraken. And it looks exactly like this thing.
Let me find this. McDonald's Kraken.
I'm telling you, I watched that movie on VHS when I was a youngin'.
So did I. McDonald's Kraken. Is it the blue thing?
It's like McDonald's Wacky Adventure movie Kraken. I got you. I'll make this happen.
Oh, cool.
So,
yeah, I watched the movies, but I don't remember them at all.
I don't really like that these things are the forward assault units on the war against dry land. Like, these dudes get on the trees.
Yeah, I don't know, dude. The Migas just likes the water, but he's fucking amphibious. He can go on the assault.
He's a scout for the agenda. No, that's horrid.
And he can fucking like flatten his body in weird ways, it's saying. I don't know. But listen to this, right? The Migas, according to many accounts, is believed to possess human-like features such as legs. However, the creature does not commonly leave the water and finds its food source by sucking blood and brains out of infant human beings by hiding among rocks and striking out at passing canoes for an easy meal.
Oh no, if he knows canoes, like he's become too powerful.
No, the Migas is intelligent. He is going to kill you.
He has a taste for children.
He's just chilling, and then he has more than 50 tentacles, so it's not going to be hard for him.
Oh, I didn't realize he was strapped.
Oh yeah,
50+.
He's insane. But this one is less of a cryptid. There's not a lot of sightings, but this one's more older. It's more so of a myth, you know.
Creepy.
But plenty of people claim that it's real, that the Migas is out there. And I'll say it right now, I am not going to doubt any kind of sea beast. Not at all.
For what reason?
The ocean is fucking huge.
Yeah, who knows what the hell's out there? I get that. Okay.
Yeah, like there's like massive dead zones in the ocean, right? I'm pretty sure that most of the ocean, I say pretty sure as I Google it, most of the ocean is like uninhabited. Not uninhabited, but the fish only go through it like to migrate.
Yeah, I get what you're saying.
Uninhabited. Most of the... What the fuck?
We getting a biology lesson now?
No, I just like most of the fucking ocean is like there's nothing going on. Fish are just swimming between it to migrate. Most of the action's happening on coasts.
Yeah, where life can exist. Yeah.
So who knows what the fuck's going on out in the middle of the ocean where nothing's happening. In the Marianas Trench, like in Pacific Rim, man, they could just be coming out of a portal in the bottom of the Marianas Trench.
We'd never know.
You know?
No, that's cursed. That's a blasphemous existence to be trying to find what's out there in the deep ocean.
Oh,
yeah, I found the McDonald's
That is
Kraken.
not the picture of the McDonald's Kraken I expected. I expected him to like be trying to fucking sell me a Big Mac, not look so horrid.
He tries to kill Ronald and his wacky gang of burger boys.
Dang. I wish he would have succeeded.
So do you...
Oh, it's a pretty creepy looking Kraken.
Feel any kind of affinity towards water beasts being a kind of... what's the word? River rat? Yourself?
No.
Never.
I mean, we weren't really river rats. We were just fucking... I mean, we were never on the river going boating, hanging out, fishing, because that just wasn't our thing.
I mean, I lost a sandal in the river once.
Yeah, I mean, I've been out there before a couple of times, but not enough to say I was a hobbyist or enthusiast of the river.
I mean...
Plus, the rivers where we lived are fucking disgusting. For any of you wondering, Christian and I both come from a town where the only thing that people give a shit about in that town is that two rivers converge there. That's it.
It's not even like two good rivers. It's not like the Mississippi and anything else. It's two trash-ass rivers.
Yep. They're literally garbage.
But I spent a lot of my childhood just like looking out over the rivers and being like, are there sharks in there? Are there river monsters?
Yeah, you can never see the bottom of the water because it's always fucking brown.
Yeah. So who knows who's down there? Maybe the Migos.
There's snakes in there and shit. I remember I was like really petrified of water as a kid when I found out that snakes be living in the water sometimes.
Probably one of my oldest memories is like, watch out for the water moccasins. And I'm like, who? The sandals,
yeah, right?
bro? And they're like, no, the snakes that will kill you.
Yeah, right? Oh, man. Yeah, I was a fucking... You know, I've only had bad experiences with water now that I think about it.
You were a lifeguard.
Yeah. Okay, bad experiences with natural water. I'll rephrase. Okay. One day we're like at this camping club that my grandma used to be a member of. You've been out there a couple times. It was where we went camping.
Yeah.
And at the lake one day when I was like 8, I was just making a sandcastle with my brother, and a fucking snake just comes out of the water, coming right at us. I'm like, holy fuck. Like, it was like petrifying. I just started running the fuck away, and the lifeguard heard us screaming, and the lifeguard just grabs a shovel and comes over and starts hacking the thing's head off.
A lifeguard equipped with a battle shovel makes me feel a lot safer.
Yeah, it was crazy. He cut the thing's head off, and I was just watching the body move around without the head.
Christ.
And, you know, it's like when you see something really fucked up in Bloodborne, and you just see the insight counter go up by 1.
That was you. You gained knowledge.
That was me. That was me. I gained eldritch knowledge that day. I was like,
Things die.
That's weird. It shouldn't be doing that.
Oh, no.
And then at that same lake, I was swimming, having a good time, and I come out of the water, and there's this black thing on my foot, and I go to rip it off, and I'm like, it's a leech.
What? You've actually been leeched?
I've been leeched.
Did it hurt?
No, it didn't hurt. It was just stuck on there.
There's like a whole clan of disgusting like water blobs now that know the taste of your blood.
Yeah. It was crazy because the lifeguards are like pouring rubbing alcohol on it, trying to get it to let go because that's what you're supposed to do. And then like some fucking redneck dude walks up who I've never seen before in my life, and he's like, man, I got this, and just starts yanking it, trying to yank it the fuck off, and it wouldn't come off. And then he's like, oh, I know what'll do the trick, and he pulls out a lighter.
Oh my god,
I'm like, please don't. And then, yeah, right? And then luckily the lifeguards are like, sir, we can handle this.
Sir.
I'm like, thank you. Please don't let him burn my fucking foot.
Can't cauterize this child. Jesus Christ.
Yep. Fuck water.
Fuck.
And fuck everything it stands for.
Anything that's wet. Ugh.
One time I tried to do a fucking backflip off of a diving board, and I just fucking cranked my head. That sucked. Yeah. Water sucks, man.
I mean, despite it's being like the only one thing that gives us life, yeah, fuck it.
We would go back to that we would go back to that lake where we go swimming before I moved out, and they'd just be like, "Are you gonna get in the water, Dan?" And I'd be like, "Nope,
never again."
You guys have fun. Not to mention, it's a fucking lake, so it's just a stagnant body of water, and like, you know, geese are shitting everywhere, kids are pissing in it.
Oh, is it?
Like, obviously, the lake cleans itself.
How?
Eventually,
How does this lake clean itself?
I don't know. Water. Water be wildin'.
Like,
do lakes clean themselves?
That doesn't make any sense to me. Do the fish suckers do it? Those.
Let me see.
Or like natural ecology bullshit.
Alright, well, there's no easy answer, and I don't feel like reading a whole last paragraph, but yes, lakes do clean themselves. But even then, the swimming area for the lake is super small compared to the entire size of the lake. So, within that localized area, it's just piss central.
Did you ever go up to the worst lake? Michigan?
Which one? Oh, Michigan sucks, dude. I've been up there both times I've been up there. It's been like a 98 degree. I'm sweating my fucking ass off, and I go to dip a toe in the water, and the water's like 50 degrees. Yeah, I'm like, what the
somehow
fuck?
Lake Michigan is the coldest lake that's ever existed. It's like an ice bath all year round, and I don't know how.
Yeah. Yeah, it's stupid.
Like when I was like 4 or in grade school, they were like, yeah, a bunch of glaciers receded back to the north and dug out these lakes. So I think I thought like the floor of Lake Michigan was still like a glacier, which seems cooler now than it does then.
Oh my gosh.
Like frozen ice bottom of a lake.
You know, my last experience with that lake, my last like cursed experience is there I am once again on the fucking beach building a sandcastle, and just out of nowhere a man in full scuba gear just comes swimming out, just walks right onto the shore and gets out. Like, he's talking to someone and we're like within earshot, and he's like, man, how long were you down there for? And he's like, oh, I was just down there for like about an hour. I'm like, what the fuck?
If I had the gear, the equipment, I would just be chilling underwater too.
I would not. Because here's another thing that always scared me, which might have a fuel for my deep water fear, right? So out in the deep end of the lake, there's, after the drop off, right?
Yes.
The water gets a little colder. It's like pitch black, and there's this raft out there. And all the cool kids would always swim out to the far raft and do like flips off of it and stuff. And I was like, I want to be that. I want to be that cool kid. So we swim out there, and I remember I jumped off once, and I had goggles on, and I opened my eyes, and I look over, and all I see is like a chain going, coming from the raft and going straight down. And I looked down as far as I could, and I could not see the bottom, but I could just see the chain keep going down, and I'm like, this is horrifying.
That's a straight up haunting image. I love that.
Yep.
What? Oh, yep. The raft was anchored. Okay, I was like, what the hell's going on with the chain?
Yeah. No, the raft was tethered to the bottom, but I couldn't see the bottom. I couldn't see this. I just saw this chain keep going down. I'm like, I hate this.
Didn't you say one of these squids is able to like tether itself to the ground?
The Luska can balance on the bottom of the ocean floor with one tentacle. Theoretically, if its size is to be believed.
That's haunting to think that like an octopus beast is one tentacle anchored into the dirt so it becomes a water turret or a lawnmower in the water.
Yeah. And so I wanted to bring up our favorite author here, H.P. Lovecraft, right? Now, there's no footage of these guys, none that has any credibility of it today. Why are there not any accounts of it? Well, could it be that these things are eldritch beings, and if you see them, you can't remember it, or you go insane?
Are you telling me these things have neural wiping abilities?
I mean, I guess in the same sense that if you see an eldritch being, you can't comprehend it, and you go crazy.
I could definitely see that for these creatures. If I don't understand it, like, your brain wants to build something that it understands, for sure.
Mm-hmm. Do you think that could be a look into why there are so many tales of sea beasts?
For sure. If you see something, billowy shadow, a form in the water, and you are some fucko farmer from the middle of England, and you're, oi, what's that beast? Your brain's gonna try and develop something that it can comprehend. Like, it has I believe people's brains have a safe space that they understand, and going out of it is not good.
Yeah, for sure. And then, like, you know, you also got to think, like, you're seeing an octopus for the first time ever.
And the craziest thing you've seen before that is a cow.
Yeah. You know, a wolf, a bear, a deer, all these, like, fucking quadruped, like, mammals, you know.
And you see this 8-limbed, disgusting, suction-cupped hell fiend.
And, you know, there were no cameras back then, so all you could do was take someone's description of it.
Or
if you could even read, you know.
Or some cursed painting, or you read about, like, the Leviathan in the Bible, and you're like, that's him. I know that guy.
Yeah, that's him.
That's the sea beast. That's me.
Well, while we're on the topic, I wanted to close this off with a question for you. Considering that we both have an affinity for Lovecraftian literature, and he's stated multiple times that he was not trying to start a new religion, it was all purely fictional, and he was just having a good time, do you think that there's any sort of merit to the existence of any sort of eldritch Lovecraftian entities in the world?
I'm not really set on maybe pulling his specific mythos into the world. I don't.
Right. No, that's what I mean. I'm not being like, do you think Cthulhu is real? I just mean, do you think that there's beings that exist in the fourth and fifth dimension that we can't even comprehend?
It seems, to me at least, that just like with the sea creatures, we get comfortable with our perception. We understand what we understand as far as our senses can find, and I'm willing to bet there's some beings with consciousness beyond our understanding that might appear like swirling, chaotic masses, or might appear like sentient clouds or something that's just not our world, that because of this cultural touchstone that he's made will put them in this kind of box.
Yeah. No, for sure. I think that's a good way of looking at it,
He framed our brains to be able to classify these things.
Yeah. And so, I think we should thank him for that, because could you imagine our society encountering something like that to this day with no, framing of it, of oh, there's things out there we don't understand?
If Lovecraft didn't become this cultural touchstone, it might have been somebody else. It might have been a more Stephen King type perception of some of it.
So you think even if it wasn't Lovecraft, you think fictionally, philosophically, culturally, we were moving towards fiction like Lovecraft's cosmic horror?
Well, we pulled from the Nameless Beast of Berkeley Square episode, he pulls from the Gothic genre, so there's this sort of ideas already swirling around, and he kind of Tolkien-esque qualified it into this mythology and this family tree. But especially our 2020 existence, I'm willing to bet something probably would have mixed in the space age sort of sci-fi boom that would have created something similar. As we became more interested in space, as some sci-fi writer wanted to get his jimmies off, I could have seen a similar type of world develop.
Okay. And there you go, folks. I, Daniel, have just bullshitted for my half of the podcast on 2 entries that I found on cryptids. Thanks for playing. You got gypped.
Thanks for coming to the Squid Variety half hour.
Yep. Oh, I'm pretty impressed with myself. I was like, man, how am I going to fucking talk about this stupid squid for a half hour?
Telling haunted stories from your childhood is a great way to fill the dead air, I think.
Oh, yeah. Well, without further ado, I'm very eager to hear what you've brought us today.
Yeah, speaking of horrid memories from your childhood, this whole entry is going to talk about the Catholic religion. So let me start with a little questionnaire for you. Did you, and let me know if this is ever too much doxing information, did you ever grow up in a religious household?
Yes.
Okay. Was it a Christian denomination? Did you attend any kind of weekly religious ceremony type thing?
We went to church on Sundays.
Okay.
But we moved around a lot when I was a kid. So we kind of just my family weren't of any sort of certain denomination, but we would just go to the church of whatever denomination was in town, if that
Okay.
makes sense. Like, we were always non-denomination, but we lived in a town where the only church was a Baptist church. So we were like, it's generally the same.
That's pretty cool.
And so we just went to the Baptist church. And then we moved again, and it was Methodist, and we were like, pretty much the same. And we just went to the Methodist church. It didn't really matter.
See, I like that way better. That seems way more open and experiential than my grandmother saying, "You're going to church, boy. The Catholic church."
Yeah.
So,
But I was way too young at those times to remember
okay.
if there were any differences between them. I really don't think there was. I think it was just small town church. They weren't like, this is a Baptist church and we are Baptist and we will do Baptist things in our Baptist house. And vice versa with the Methodist one. I mean, really the only thing about it that was Baptist or Methodist was the name. I couldn't even tell you the differences right now.
Well, in your religious scholarly pursuit, do you think that you could tell me how the world was created according to those mythologies?
Well, according to the Bible, God said, "Let there be light," and then he said, "Let there be a bunch of other shit."
Yeah, no, that's
Yep.
it. He said, "Let it be." That's how it do.
He did say, "Let it be."
So, do you have any kind of particular feelings about the fact that other cultures and other religious groups get kickin' rad myths and super cool deities and creatures and these fantastical stories? Like, I don't get Thor. I don't get cool cursed angels coming down from the sky. Like, these Catholic faith has kind of abandoned some of that more mysticism type deal.
Yeah, I think they just wanted to make it like, E-rated when it was on the up.
The
You know.
E-rated religion. You know, where the protag gets violently murdered halfway through.
I mean, yeah. But he's alright.
It's just a certain part of me who was more religious in my youth. I think I held on to it longer than I thought I would, but as I'm coming back to it now at a
Wait, hold on. Are you saying that even as you were a young lad, like just going to church, having a good old time, like you were like, yeah, man, one day I'm gonna wake up and be done with this bullshit?
I don't think I was ever into it like that. I don't think I was ever that cognizant of it.
Yeah,
No, I was in.
you
I
were
was in for a long time.
I remember in high school, like, I don't remember exactly when in high school.
I dragged
But
you to
one
this
day you
fucking
just-
24
Oh, I was gonna
church
bring that one up
lock-in.
next.
No.
I was gonna bring that
No,
fucking shit up next.
Let it rock.
But the first one I was gonna bring up was you just came back to school one day and you were like, yeah, I have a second middle name now.
Oh yeah, Jesus gave me that.
Yeah, Jesus gave you that one.
Yeah, my family was very adamant about completing my religious studies, and then all of my other siblings didn't have to. Got let off the hook. Got to quit.
They're like, Christian, you're gonna serve the Lord. Christian's brother, you can do whatever
That's
you want.
exactly how it happened. 100%. They wanted me to go to the Catholic high school and get the extra middle name and eat the
Aw,
crackers
really?
and drink the Jesus juice. Yup.
They almost made you go to the fucking Christian high
They
school.
fought for it. They tried super hard. I went on a
Wow.
tour one day. I spent a whole day in grade school checking out the Catholic high school, and I was like, this could be me. Blue polos.
That's lame.
No, that's alternate reality, Christian.
Well, back in the 1500s, 1400s, I mean, your parents would have been setting you up for success and just casting your brother out to be a street urchin.
Oh, I'm the heir. I'm the eldest. It's my duty to, bring religious victory to my house.
Mm-hmm.
So, in that sense...
But no, the other story, hold on, you're not getting out of this one, was, can we talk about why I ended up going to it?
Absolutely.
So Christian was dating this Christian girl.
She was...
A good Christian girl.
I don't remember what it was, but it wasn't my grandma's good old Catholicism.
Yeah, she was one of the fucking Protestants. But anyway, Christian was like, I don't know what she said to him, but she had him in vice grips and was like, Christian, you should get some of your friends to come to my church thing. And he's like, hey Dan, you want to come to like this church overnight thing? Like, I'm going. It's gonna be pretty fun, man. There's a ball pit there. And I'm like, ball pit? I'm fucking sold, bro. I'll be there. I get there, there's no ball pit, and he's like, oh yeah, and there's no food for the next 28 hours. I'm like, what the fuck's going on?
Did I say there was a ball
pit? Yes, you told me there was a ball pit. And I show up there, and they have like this glass case with a bunch of ball pit balls in it, but they were arranged to like, they were color arranged to like make a cross, and I'm like, that's not a fucking ball pit.
I kind of wiped that from my memory.
And there was no food. It
was I don't know what it was called, like a...
Starving for Jesus.
That's it. You starve. You don't eat for 24 hours for Jesus Christ. And then they made us, like, lasagna afterwards.
Yeah, they made us some kind of pasta and sandwiches, and I ate it. And then my mom picked me up, and I'm like, Mom, take me to fucking Taco Bell. I was like, this is bullshit.
Maybe it's like how flagellation got really cool in the 15 and 1400s. Like, if you starve, you're going to love Jesus, bro. Don't worry. When there's no food in your belly, you're going to have to believe in God because you're going to die.
Yeah, pretty much. And they made us fucking do a bunch of activities. And Christian somehow suckered our other friend into this stupid thing. And they're like, we're going to go to the nursing home and we're going to talk to the old people because it's a good deed. And I was like, fucking shoot me. And we go. And it wasn't just to hang out for 28 hours in the church. It was like you were going to stay up all night and do God activities for God for the entirety of this 28 hours. So we go to the nursing home the next day before they feed us. And the person I was talking to the old people with, she was just passed out and left me to just fucking talk to this old person the entire time. Ugh. It was such a miserable experience. Rant over. Let's move on.
So I'm essentially frustrated with the old religious chains that bind me, and have in my current life taken to digging into this old Judeo-Christian myth, demonology type stuff, to find out these really cool roots.
No.
I'm not gonna like get a pentagram tattoo. I just think these old demons are cool.
I mean, yeah, they're cool, but I mean, if you still believe in that stuff, you run the risk of it showing up.
No, it's not like that. They aren't gonna show up at my house.
Okay, be careful.
The thing I wanted to give you today is the story of the Demiurge.
Yes.
And my interest really sparked from the conspiracy episode, like I said, last week. You had given the idea that it was being controlled by this being.
Mm-hmm.
And so I did a little digging. I did a little sort of theological research for the past couple of weeks. So, have you ever heard of Gnosticism?
I have.
Okay. Can you give me a tight 3 seconds on Gnosticism? Like, what are your thoughts on this belief?
It's the belief in a higher power, but you are too dumb to comprehend or communicate with this higher power.
Yeah, it's the need to pursue higher knowledge. Like, you don't have the insight score to be one with this.
Oh, I think I was thinking of agnostic.
Oh, like being agnostic.
Which is, I believe in a higher power, I just don't know what it is.
Oh, well, I mean, your perception was pretty close. It has to do with attaining knowledge and sort of perception versus faith.
Mm-hmm.
It's a sect that is more worried about personal reflection. It's more interested in sort of personal wisdom than, did you go to church on Sunday? Did you read the good book? Did you do all this stuff? And it pulls...
Okay, so like what? Okay. Like a different kind of a commitment, I guess, to whatever this higher power is.
It's a different kind of relationship. It's a more one-on-one relationship with this. And it's a sort of, I guess you could call it a heresy, but that kind of passes judgment from the winner. But it's a heresy that was gaining a lot of traction just after Jesus' death, so about like the 100s to about the 400 AD time period. It's really getting big.
Okay.
And they have this kickin' rad cosmology. This super dope like myth system, and there's these angels and demons that's super fucking cool. But the best part of it is they believe that the world was crafted by this being known as the Demiurge, or Yaldabaoth.
Yaldabaoth.
Which is way fucking cool.
Is that like the name of God before Constantine's Bible? Or does this have no relation to the Christian religions?
Oh, it takes a minute to get to Yaldabaoth. You gotta go down the tree. It's interesting that you talk about Lovecraft on this episode. It's kind of a more family tree-esque relationship with this higher power. So
is this like the stuff they're teaching exorcists?
The stuff they're doing what?
I said, is this like the stuff they're teaching to exorcists at the Vatican?
No. The Vatican hates this. They called it a heresy.
Oh,
they call it bullshit, and that's how I'm going to tie it into a kind of conspiracy. So the Gnostics have this whole idea of the divine pleroma. You ever heard this word?
I did hear about the divine pleroma when I made my 4chan X-board post about simulation theory.
Yeah.
Someone said something about the pleroma.
It is the totality of divine power. It is the entire sort of like astral plane of God's existence and all of his power and all of its being. It's sort of this almost other world, almost like a spirit world.
So, it's not a place. It's not a person.
Think it's a place.
It's both.
It's the manifestation of the power of their god.
Oh, okay.
And they're pulling a lot from Eastern religions, Buddhist practices. They're pulling from Hebrew traditions, Egyptian tradition, Greek thought. So this mostly pulls from the Pythagoreans. You know that dude with the triangles?
Yep. A squared plus B squared equals C squared. Never helped me once in my life, but I still remember it.
His ass, formed a cult. The Pythagoreans.
Pythagoras?
The Triangle Gang.
Oh no, they can't be the triangle gang. That's the most cursed shape of all.
And their sort of thinking helped develop this idea that in the Pleroma, God has these reflections of himself, and every reflection is a part of his being, a part of his aspect, and they have powers, and they are all him, kind of. But it's this sort of many in one entity inside the Pleroma.
Now, can the entities act independently of each other?
Yes.
Like, are there good ones and bad ones?
There are good and bad ones.
Okay, so this kind of sounds like Hindu mythology, where the entire world is Brahma's dream.
Yeah, no, it's exactly. It pulls from that sort of combined spirit type idea. And like
where we're all children of Brahma.
They believe Jesus is the star of the Pleroma, not in the movie star kind, but like the actual like centerpiece, like a manifestation of it.
He's the most powerful one.
Yeah, he returns to bring these. This is died, and they have to be like, who's this dude? How does he fit here? And so the farther you get from the central original being in the Pleroma, the weaker you are, I believe. Like, the last thing to be created isn't as strong as the first thing to be created.
Okay.
So the final being in the Pleroma is called Sophia.
What?
Yeah, it's cursed. It's gonna get bloodborne-y in this bitch.
That I immediately went to Bloodborne.
It's Sophia, or the Greek word for wisdom. I can't pronounce it. I can't read these squiggly lines, but that's what it's telling me it means.
Okay.
And Sophia is she has these powers of God, these emanations of his will. So unconsciously, she creates the Demiurge. It springs from her will, unintentionally.
Okay.
It is born outside of the Pleroma, not in this world, not in this plane.
How did Sophia get outside the Pleroma?
No, she birthed this thing out of it. She's still in, I think. I feel like I'm reading like Elder Scrolls lore.
No, this is fucking crazy.
This would be way cooler if in church they pulled out the crazy diagram and they were like, listen, the Pleroma, the spirit plane, like I would have been in for life.
Yeah, absolutely. Bring back the Demiurge.
So the Demiurge.
Bring back the Pleroma.
Bring back the demons and the angels. I want crazy mythology in my religion.
That's fucking insane.
The Demiurge is born outside of the Pleroma, but has some of that power, some of that light. And Sophia's like, oh man, dude, God's gonna be real mad that I made this thing outside of the God world, and so she tries to hide him.
Okay. Where's she hiding him?
In clouds. That's what it
okay.
says. She puts him in the clouds, like to try to hide him from the Pleroma so that her mistake won't be found. And the Demiurge is this isolated, alone, confused entity that has this divine spark in it. So it thinks that it's God, and it creates the world.
No. What the fuck?
The Demiurge, Yaldabaoth, builds a world with God's power because it was cast out of the plane of God's existence and didn't know. It didn't know what it was. It didn't know there's anything else in the universe. So it creates the universe in its image or in its ideas.
Because I was getting ready to ask, what is... where are we at in the Pleroma?
We aren't. And
we're not even in the pleroma?
no, the Demiurge creates the universe, creates mankind using that energy that Sophia gave him, and it puts that the little spark of God inside each person. So that's the Gnostic
What the
cosmogony.
fuck?
And
That's insane.
they paint him as this spiteful, egotistical God who says, I created the world, I am the only God. He has like a nickname, Samael, the blind god.
He doesn't know any better. It's not his fault.
For sure. He kind of got the short end of the
He got
stick in this
shafted.
god.
Yeah. Poor guy.
And they think Jesus comes eventually to invite people back into the pleroma, to allow them back into God's sort of universe.
Oh, fuck. So, quote unquote, heaven is the pleroma.
In a sense. And that we were a mistake. Like, someone stole divine knowledge from heaven, created the world with it, and then there was this separation, and then, Jesus brought us back. Yeehaw.
Man.
That's...
Sophia, you suck. Why is her name Sophia, though? That's like when you walk in to the boss fight in Bloodborne, and you just see this, like, horrible werewolf beast with, like, church garbs on, and it's like, oh, I wonder what this boss's cool name is. It's Amelia, you know?
Oh, the vicar, yeah. It's a
Why?
similar vibe.
That's crazy to me.
And Gnosticism is the pursuit of wisdom and knowledge, to sort of see these connections, to sort of find this wisdom, to return to these this pleroma. Now that's real rushed, real whack kind of synopsis of the creation story in this particular heresy, but the Catholic Church at this time hating this shit. They're
To this day, they still don't want anyone to talk about the Demiurge.
the only information, I mean, like accredited scholarly information you get about it is studied by heresiologists, which is a kickin' rad name.
Yeah.
They think of it as this whack sort of cult or sect that was, as Catholicism was sort of building itself up. I think all of these different outcropping groups formed at the first couple hundred years of the religion's founding, and Catholicism had to knock them all into line. They had to be like, listen, your stupid interpretation's not what the church is going with, so assimilate or die.
Yeah, is there any mention of like how harsh the punishment was for these Pythagoreans?
It's a lot of, burning their books.
Okay, yeah.
Not inviting them to
Standard fare.
hang out with the Pope. And there's these cursed ass, like, didn't make it into the Bible religious texts that talk about Sophia. There's the Pistis Sophia that tells sort of more about her story. There's
like Book of Enoch kind of stuff?
Yeah, Book of Enoch, the Apocryphon of John, like all of these crazy...
Apocryphon? What the fuck does that mean?
The Apocryphon of John, bro.
Like the same John in the Bible, or like John's evil twin?
No, him. It's the good John.
So John was seeing some fucking crazy shit and he put it in an Apocryphon?
He put it in the dark book.
That's like the real life Necronomicon.
Well, that's the thing. The church doesn't want you to talk about this. The church doesn't want you to, believe in the sect, study this forbidden knowledge. This is the half conspiracy I have is that the church, as its sort of desire to codify its rules, to establish this formal religion, was casting off all of these other ways of thinking and sort of suppressing things like the Demiurge.
That's crazy.
And specifically the Apocryphon of John is Jesus talking to John and giving him Gnostic knowledge, sort of passing these ideas.
God,
on.
you're telling me that John sat down with Jesus and Jesus passed on eldritch knowledge to him, and that didn't make the final cut of the book?
Yeah, they were like, that's not getting in.
They left that on the editing room floor?
It's the only reason a bunch of these Gnostic texts were found. There was like this archaeological dig in the 1900s, and a bunch of these like banned scrolls got found, because otherwise the Catholic Church tried to erase it. They tried to destroy it from any kind of public perception.
Wow.
So in that line of thinking, we get what the hell's his name? Valentinius. He was one of the thought leaders in Gnosticism.
Huh.
And he led one of the larger movements. It went from about the 100s to the 300s. Like, he had a pretty good run up until the Roman Empire fell, and who has time to organize religion.
Yeah, that's fucked. Holy shit.
So I just kind of wanted to put a little more spice into our culture. Like, if I can't sit around and see this dope-ass statue of, like, cool gods and demons, at least you can learn about how, your culture's trying to hide the truth from you.
That's insane, dude.
It's literally the pursuit of knowledge.
Do you think there's, like, copies of this all in, like, the Vatican vaults?
Oh, yeah. Dudes, Francis has the good word out in the vaults. He's got the Jesus.
Sitting next to the Ark of the Covenant is the original Apocryphon of John, bound with, like, God flesh.
Yeah. He's got the truth down there in the dark archives.
That's insanity, man.
Now,
what a cool topic.
And it leaves you a little bit to explore. Like, there's other interpretations that Yaldabaoth, he, like, runs this gang of demons. He has these archon helpers that helped execute his will. There's this whack hierarchy. They're like, Yaldabaoth's the first one, and then there's 7 angels, and each of them has 7 angels, and
Jesus.
It's fucking sick. Like, all the cool things I wanted in my religion, you can find out there.
That is insane.
And if you play Persona 5, spoilers, Yaldabaoth's there.
Oh, God.
Keep your eyes open.
Yep, and, well, I think we're going to go ahead and cut it off there. This is Mad Tower Radio, ending transmission.